Hi, I'm Vicky, thanks for watching. So this is my second Shop My Stash video. In this video I'm going to be reflecting on my previous Shop My Stash collection, showing you some pictures of the looks, and then I'll be choosing the next products to include in my 3-week Shop My Stash. Now this time I won't be putting the makeup on my face. I just feel like the video will be really long if I do a recap, selection and then application of all the products, so I'm going to skip that bit out. So let's get straight into it then. So a recap of the products that I included were the bareMinerals Complexion Rescue in the shade Vanilla, Fenty Concealer in the shade 185, bareMinerals Crystalline Glow Palette, and I only used the bronzer, not the blushes, Laura Geller Flirty Friday Eyeshadow, Blush and Highlight Palette, and then the Tailor Made Monday one, also from Laura Geller, MAC Faux Lipstick, my favourite ever lipstick, and Collection 2000 Pink Heaven Lip Liner. So let's start with the bareMinerals Complexion Rescue. Now I'll be honest, I rarely wore this the past 3 weeks, and that's just because I've been really focused on using up my Fenty Soft Matte Foundation that's in my project pan. But I did wear this yesterday and I really loved the finish of it. The shade Vanilla is the perfect match for me at the moment. I do also have this in Wheat, but I do have to apply some sort of self-tanning drops to my face when I use the Wheat one. It can work as I am at the moment, but this one is just a slightly better match for me. I really love the finish of this. It provides a light but buildable coverage, and it just gives you a little bit of luminosity but not too much of a dewy look, which is what I don't like. It's SPF 30 as well, so that's just a nice little added bonus. I wouldn't completely rely on that SPF 30 to give you your proper SPF protection, but it is nice to have that little bit extra. And it was nice as well to have something a little bit lighter in terms of foundation compared to the Fenty Soft Matte. I do really like the Fenty Soft Matte, but it is, like the name suggests, quite matte. It is sort of medium to full coverage, whereas this is just lighter, and it's just great for those days where you want a little bit of coverage but nothing too much. The Fenty Concealer in 185 I really like. I also have it in 150 as well, so one concealer I use under my eyes, the other one I use on blemishes and just around the face, and this pairs really nicely with the Complexion Rescue. This is a really lovely concealer, this one is. I think it's probably one of my favourites in my collection, and I had no problems wearing this the past 3 weeks. I tended to sort of alternate between this one and the Tarte Shape Tape, so I definitely got my use out of it in the last 3 weeks. So I'm going to move over so I can put some pictures here now that we're getting more into the eyeshadow palettes and the bronzers and the lipsticks. So this is the bareMinerals Crystalline Glow Palette, and I did wear this in my full face of bareMinerals makeup, and I was a little bit on the fence. I didn't really know whether I liked it too much, so that's why I wanted to include the bronzer for the past 3 weeks to sort of get a full opinion on whether I like it or not. And my conclusion is that I don't really like it. It is quite dark, it's quite shimmery as well, and I don't like shimmer in my bronzer or in my blusher. The only place where I want to get shimmer on my face is from, oh that rhymed, is from my highlighter. Don't want it in my bronzer, don't want it in my blush. I like matte bronzers and matte blushes. So this bronzer I did feel was a little bit too dark. It ended up looking a little bit muddy, and like I say, it was shimmery, and that is just not the look I want to go for. So my conclusion with this bronzer is that I don't like it. Now the Laura Geller eyeshadow and blusher highlight palettes are absolutely lovely. I really like these. It's so convenient to have your 4 eyeshadows and then a blusher and a highlighter that you know just is going to work with those eyeshadows. And the colours are lovely. They are all very similar though. They are obviously all very pink, and that's really what I wanted to go for last time. It was near Valentine's and I wanted that sort of Valentine's pinky look. Now I'm just going to look at my phone at some of the looks that I've created. So in my Shop My Stash video that I filmed 3 weeks ago, I used both palettes, and that was a heavily pink eyeshadow. I think I used a lot of Precious Peony, and that is just a pure vibrant shimmery pink. Now in Flirty Friday you have 3 shimmers and your only matte is this really light pink powder, and in the Tailor Made Monday palette you have 2 shimmers at the top and then your 2 matte shades, and I really did like having that matte purple, and in this picture here I did use it as an eyeliner, and I felt like that really made my green eyes pop, so I liked having that dark matte shade in the palette. That was really actually quite useful to add a bit of dimension or a bit of an eyeliner look. I did on a couple of occasions as well wear a liquid black eyeliner with it, and I felt it made it look a little bit harsh. So the way that I like to apply these colours, and in particular all the shimmers, is just without eyeliner. They all create a really nice, soft, romantic, really easy to wear eyeshadow looks. Now because of that, you aren't going to get something hugely dramatic, hugely graphic. But I don't really mind that. I like just that kind of simple wash of these colours. All very, very lovely. I really did love playing with these past 3 weeks. And I felt as well like they really paired really nicely with the Nyx B52 lipstick that's in my current 4 weeks 4 lipsticks rotation, and that's the shade I've got on today. So in this picture here, I like the harmonious look between the sort of plum eyeshadows, that mauvey lipstick. It helps as well that I'm wearing like a maroon sweatshirt as well. So that lipstick really does work nicely with both of these palettes. So with this picture here, I used the Tailor Made Monday palette for pretty much the whole look. So on the eyes I put Paprika Craze in the crease, and it was really nice to have that sort of warm brown shade to use as a crease shade. I really did enjoy having that different colour in these palettes. And with your two shimmers, your Precious Peony is warmer than your Icy Lilac, and either of them work nicely with Perfect Plum. And then I use Perfect Plum to sort of line the upper and lower lash line. And again, I felt like it just really complemented my green eyes. I used the blusher and the highlighter as well, and I think the whole look worked pretty nicely together. Now here, this does look a little bit like a scary blusher. It's not, it does look like a bright pink, but it is really soft on the face. And then that golden light highlighter is actually pretty similar to my pure highlighter in my Project Pan. And then I paired that with the MAC Faux lipstick and the Collection lip liner, and all in all I think that look is just really pretty, really soft, really romantic. I think the pinks are so complementary. I think that it just looks really lovely. And then this picture here comes entirely from the Flirty Friday palette. So they are very similar, those two pictures. The Flirty Friday palette I feel gives a slightly softer look. The blush isn't as bright a pink, it's a bit more of a warmer blush. Even though it looks quite dark there, it's not once it's on your face. And the highlighter I think might be a touch too dark for me, but I think it does work in this look. With the eyes, I put pink powder all over the lid. I then put Sangria Seduction in the crease and in the outer corner. I don't mind putting shimmers in the crease, I don't really have a problem with that. Now, Soft Topaz at the top and Blooming Blush are very, very similar. Blooming Blush is just slightly more pink. And again, I paired that with the MAC lipstick and the Collection lip liner, and like the other look, I think this is just a really pretty, really nice wearable, I want to say everyday look, but I know that means different things to different people. I don't like to wear bold lips, bold eyeshadow on like a daily basis. This is more kind of my look. But again, a very pretty look, I think. So all in all, really pleased with the products I chose with my current Shop My Stash. I like the Complexion Rescue, the concealer, the eyeshadows, the blusher, the highlighter, the lip liner and the lipstick pair so nicely together. And that lipstick is just my all-time favourite lipstick. But the bronzer is the one that just didn't work for me. I am curious to see how those blushes in that palette work, and then if it turns out that I don't like those blushes, that palette is going to be up for a declutter. So let's go and select some new products then. Alright, so let's start off with this drawer then, and then we will move up to the products that I store on top of this cabinet. So primers I'm not going to include, I'm just going to stick with the one that's in my current Project Pan. Foundation and concealer we will come on to in a bit because I don't store them in this drawer. Powder, I've only got two and I rotate between those two fairly easily. So bronzers then, let's go for this e.l.f. contouring blush and bronzing powder. It's in the shade St. Lucia, and I did use this one in my full face of cheapest makeup, and I wasn't that impressed with how the bronzer applied. I think I found it quite difficult to build up pigment. I mean, even swatching it here, it's a bit difficult. So I want to spend a few weeks playing about with this bronzer, seeing if I can make this work. So I'll alternate between this one and the bronzer that's in my Project Pan. With blush, I'm not going to include this one. I will do at some point, but not now. So let's take this one. For blusher, I want to go back to this bareMinerals Crystalline Glow Palette. So I know I don't like the bronzer, but let's try the blushes and see what I think of those. So like I said, I don't like shimmer in my blushes, and these are very, very shimmery. So let's play about with these for the next few weeks, see what I think, and then if I don't like any of the shades in here, this will be a product to declutter. Okay, so we've got bronzer, we've got blush, so highlight. Highlight, I want to go for this number 7 Custom Blend Highlighting Drops in White Gold. I bought this in the summer and it does have a 12-month shelf life. And it is open. I have played with it before and I have liked it. But because I've had this about 6 months now and it's been opened and it's a liquid product, this one could really do with being used up. Okay, so that's bronze, blush and highlight. So let's go on to eyes then. So for eye primer, let's take the MAC Painterly Pro Longwear Paint Pot. This is fairly new and I've only tried it a couple times, but I've not tried it enough to really get much of an opinion on it. So let's include that and see how it compares to my Urban Decay Primer Potion absolute favourite eyeshadow primer. So eyeshadows then, I want to include eyeshadow palettes that are going to complement the 2 red lipsticks and the orangey brown nude that's in my 4 weeks 4 lipsticks. So I think for the 2 red lipsticks, this eyeshadow palette by Estee Lauder will work quite well. It's quite sort of warm toned browns and neutrals, so I think that will pair quite nicely with the red lipsticks. Let's include the blusher as well. And with the nude lipstick, I want to go for something a little bit darker on the eyes. Not that one. Let's take this Estee Lauder Eye and Cheek palette in Glam with the blue teal eyeshadows. Now these are quite dark and I don't tend to go for these types of colours. I think blue and green eyeshadow are my least favourite to wear. I like them, but it's just not a colour I go for that often, and these are quite dark, as is the blush. So let's take the whole palette, give this whole palette a bit of a play in the next few weeks, see what I think. I've already gotten rid of 2 eyeshadow pans there. Okay, so I think that's everything from this drawer. So let's move up to the top. Okay, so let's go back to the face products then. Now primers, like I say, not going to include another primer. I'm just going to keep with the one that's in my project pan. But with foundation, I do want to take again the bareMinerals Complexion Rescue in the shade Vanilla, and that's just because I didn't actually wear it too much these past 3 weeks, but I do really like it, so I do want to try to wear this one a little bit more in the next 3 weeks. Concealer, I'm going to go for one that I don't really reach for that often, and I think I'm going to go for this Revolution one, Conceal and Define. It's in the shade 3.5, and I think from memory this is quite a nice concealer, but I don't really use it that often, so it will be nice to get this one out a bit more regularly in the next few weeks and play around with it a bit more. Right, liner. Let's take this Mally Evercolor Gel Waterproof Liner in the shade Walnut. I do want to use this one up by the end of the year. It's a nice liner, but I don't really wear it that often. But it does perform really well. But let's wear this, and this will be quite nice with that sort of nude eyeshadow palette. Won't include a mascara. I'm nearly out of this bareMinerals Strength and Length one. And then I've got this Collection Lash Surge to be working on afterwards. Won't include brow products. Won't include lipsticks because I've got my 4 weeks 4 lipsticks, and I've only got one setting spray as well. So I think that is the selection done. So I hope you found that video interesting. If you've used any of the products that I've selected, please let me know your thoughts down below. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye bye.